cult, period. I've tried to refer so many people to Orange Theory, and of the few people who have actually heard of it, I get a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I hear that's a cult." When I heard it the first time, I laughed, but I've actually had quite a few people say this. Why is this? Question mark, question mark, question mark. It has that perception because people who go to Orange Theory Fitness are generally very enthusiastic about sharing how great it is, and they don't mean cult in the traditional sense. It's just a word to describe the way most Orange Theory Fitness people love Orange Theory Fitness. Maybe we should say, no, not a cult, but a club, a super awesome club that you should be a part of. Huh, I always say I've drank the orange Kool-Aid.
Hey y'all! So I have been going religiously to Orange Theory for the last 6 months-ish, and I have truly fallen in love with it. I mean, I love starting at the treadmill, then moving on to the rower, and then to the floor. I just love all of the circuits, and I've just found a community that I really like. I mean, I really dove headfirst into Orange Theory, and I feel like I genuinely enjoy going. I mean, I can see a difference in my body. I've seen how much I've grown stronger and firmed up, but I really feel powerful as well. So there's a lot of benefits to going to Orange Theory in my mind. And so overall, I genuinely enjoy the Orange Theory classes and just going in the community. So as I got more and more into Orange Theory, I kind of wanted to share my joy and love of Orange Theory with others, and specifically other people who also went to Orange Theory. So around 3 months ago or so, I found this Facebook page, which is a Orange Theory memes Facebook page. Now, if you've ever joined a Facebook page, you generally know the vibes. A mix of millennials and baby boomers sharing outdated memes and posting a lot, almost too much, about their personal lives. And this Facebook page is no different, only just with the added addition of Orange Theory. It's just a supportive page for people of Orange Theory Fitness to come and share their stories and also post about next week's workouts. But over time, I started noticing something. I noticed more and more of the posts on this Facebook page were fanatical about how much people loved going to Orange Theory and how much Orange Theory was taking up parts of their life. I mean, these posts ranged from people just talking about how much they loved Orange Theory to how much it had helped them. And then also some people saying they were hooked on it and couldn't live without it. Even going as so far as people saying that they would plan vacations around where the closest Orange Theory was and if there were available classes for them to take. Now, I didn't think too much about these posts until one day I was walking, doing my hot girl walking, and listening to a podcast about cults. Specifically, the podcast Sounds Like a Cult. Now, as I was listening, they were talking about CrossFit, and I was thinking, that sounds so silly. Those things would never happen. But then I kept listening. And as I kept listening, I was thinking about my fitness and my fitness journey. And specifically, I started thinking about Orange Theory Fitness. And then I stopped dead in my tracks. And I thought, am I in a cult? Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is silly. Orange Theory is obviously not a cult. I mean, like, look at CrossFit. CrossFit is a legitimate cult. Orange Theory is just a gym. But all I'm saying is it doesn't hurt to just look at Orange Theory through a critical lens and see if it resembles cults in any way, and if so, how. But we'll just take a thought exercise. So why don't you join me?
So first and foremost, what is a cult? Well, according to Wikipedia and the sources on Wikipedia, a cult is a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, or its common interest in a particular personality, object, or goal. Although historically cults were religious in nature, the definition has broadened and now encompasses more than just groups with common religious beliefs. Other researchers, such as Lalek and Lingon, sorry if I'm not pronouncing those two names right, also add that cults display concerted efforts to influence and control their members. Additionally, many members are not fully aware of the extent to which they have been manipulated, exploited, or even abused. There are many different types of cults. But the ones that most often come to mind when we talk about cults are the so-called destructive cults, which are cults that have caused physical injury or worse to their members. Most common examples of destructive cults being the tragedy at Jonestown with the People's Temple. Although those cults have more public attention, they are not the only type of cults that exist, with other types of cults being doomsday cults and political cults. So, although we have a definition broadly of what a cult is, what actually makes a cult a cult? Although there are no definitive guidelines for what is and is not a cult, or at least none that I could find, a good resource I found was a handout, Characteristics Associated with Cultic Groups by Lalek and Langan. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing those names. This sheet lists a number of different culty characteristics, but I will just list a few notable ones here.
Questioning, doubt, and dissent are discouraged and even punished. The leadership dictates, sometimes in great detail, how members should think, act, and feel. The group has a polarized us versus them mentality, which can cause conflict in society. The group is elitist, sometimes claiming to be special or have exalted status for itself and the leader. The group is preoccupied with bringing in new members and making money. So based on that list of characteristics of cults, I was starting to see some things that kind of paralleled what I was seeing in Orange Theory, and it started getting me a little concerned. So now that we know what a cult is, let's start looking at what Orange Theory is. So, Orange Theory was first established in Boca Raton, Florida in 2010 by Ellen Latham. According to her website, Ellen Latham is an exercise physiologist who created the Ultimate Workout in the 1990s, which served as a foundation for Orange Theory Fitness. On their website, Orange Theory claims to be a heart rate-based HIIT group fitness class. So according to Orange Theory, their workouts are designed to charge your metabolism for more caloric afterburn, more results, and more confidence, all to deliver you more life. That is kind of their motto on their website. Now, Orange Theory also claims to be more than a gym, so a lot of more is going on. They say that what you do in the gym will make a bigger difference in the world. Now, this phrasing is interesting just by itself. A lot of mantras going on, but let's just keep that in mind and just think about it when we're talking about whether Orange Theory is a cult. So the workouts of Orange Theory consist of an hour-long class that involves switching between working on the treadmill, rower, and floor to try to hit those different levels of heart rate. So if you've never been into an Orange Theory gym, it is orange. They take orange in their name very literally. I mean, it has a very distinct theme, let's just say that. And there are orange tables, orange chairs, orange equipment, orange walls, and heck, even orange lights. And all of the marketing surrounding Orange Theory is associated with the orange color. So orange is a distinctive in-group identity that everybody who attends Orange Theory has. Additionally, the splat signal or the splat logo is another thing that Orange Theory lifers have on their cars and different types of accessories that identifies them as being part of this in-group. So with all of that in mind about what Orange Theory is and some identifiers of Orange Theory, let's talk about the arguments for why Orange Theory could be considered a cult. So first and foremost, Orange Theory is associated with being in an elite group of people who utilize Orange Theory. If you've ever met someone who goes to Orange Theory, it's possible that they only talk about going to Orange Theory and talk about how great it is. And something that's important to know is that not everybody can afford to go to Orange Theory. It is very expensive. Since it's so expensive, there is some kind of elitism associated with Orange Theory. Additionally, Orange Theory is being part of an in-group, being part of a group of people that not everybody is associated with. This can lead to people just associating with people within that circle and specifically only associating with people who are also Orange Theory people. This is kind of what we see on the Facebook. Orange Theory people only talking to Orange Theory people are really wanting Orange Theory people to surround their life. And we'll talk about recruitment in a second. In addition to being part of this elite in-group, people at Orange Theory are devoted to a leader, specifically their coaches and their head coaches and the gym staff. As we mentioned, a leader and having a leader that tells you what to do is an important component of a cult, and coaches act as leaders. They act as people that give advice to Orange Theory goers, and Orange Theories really value their opinion. So Orange Theory coaches can act as a stand-in for devotion to a leader. Another argument for Orange Theory being a cult is that there is a common meeting space for a congregation to listen to the leader. Specifically, this is Orange Theory Fitness gyms. Another thing, the in-group tends to self-identify like we were discussing earlier, but also wear things that identifies them to other in-groupers. So this is wearing apparel from Orange Theory Fitness. So additionally, there's development of language that only people who utilize the gym, in-groupers, the O2 Fitness lifers, will understand. Things like all outs and things like ESPs and different types of workout names would only be recognized by the elite small group of people who go to Orange Theory, which is a characteristic of a cult. Maybe not one that we talked about, but it is something that can be identifiable with cultic characteristics. Finally, some of the most important arguments for why Orange Theory could be considered a cult, and something that we talked about when we were discussing cultic characteristics, is the emphasis on making money and recruitment. So Orange Theory is a business, obviously. We all know that. And part of a business in a capitalist economy is the emphasis to make money to keep everything afloat. Orange Theory does this through membership fees. Also, they do this through merch sales and different types of fun bonuses like 90-minute classes and other things that you have to pay for. So they're constantly making money and constantly raising the price for membership. So that is one characteristic of a cult, is that they have an emphasis on making money consistently. Additionally, they have a heavy emphasis on recruitment. So if you know someone who is in Orange Theory, or if you're in Orange Theory yourself, there's a high likelihood that you have been recruited, or someone has tried to recruit you, or you are the one recruiting others. Orange Theory places a high emphasis on recruitment and even incentivizes its members by giving them free raffle tickets and free entry into contests and prizes for recruiting other members into Orange Theory. Additionally, there's promotional codes that people who are being recruited can use to go to more classes and become hooked into the cycle. So this recruitment model of Orange Theory is actually really interesting. I know gyms usually try to get as many people as possible, but this specific recruitment is so dogged, and there's a determination for people to recruit others into Orange Theory, and that's a very interesting component of this whole entire piece. And one of the major arguments I think actually has some credence when we're thinking about whether or not Orange Theory is a cult. But those are the main arguments for why Orange Theory is considered a cult. Whether or not you believe it's a cult yourself, those are some compelling arguments. And I mean, the religion, technically, or the thing that everybody's devoted to, is fitness. It's going to the gym. And there is something to be said in science that supports that going to the gym actually has a physically addictive quality to it. So combine that with all the characteristics we just listed, maybe Orange Theory is a cult. So the $100 million question is, do I think, after all that research and all this time I've spent looking into cults and Orange Theory and looking at the arguments, do I think that Orange Theory is a cult? No. No, I mean, personally, I don't think Orange Theory is a cult. And maybe that's because I'm too far into it. Maybe I'm too brainwashed to even see it, and maybe someone on the outside could look in and see it as a cult, but I don't think it is a cult in the traditional sense. It definitely shares some qualities of a cult, but I wouldn't take it that far. What I think Orange Theory is a community of people who are like-minded and who are looking for something to belong to. And I mean, everyone wants a community. Whether in person or online, these communities do worship fitness. And now that could be a whole nother video about fitness worship and diet culture and eating disorders and body dysmorphia, but again, another video. But overall, Orange Theory is not a cult in my mind. There is nothing wrong with a community that supports its members and uplifts them in whatever weight loss or fitness goals that they have. Even if this support and uplifting comes with some very questionable memes. But anyway, I digress. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit different than the content I usually produce, but I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please like and subscribe, and maybe we'll do other things like this, but I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!